How do you feel? How do you think schools should approach this issue of gender? At what age, or should it be introduced at all? Should it be part of any curriculum at schools? I'm seeing that in the UK anyway. We're seeing that that's being introduced in primary,
I
as
don't.
early as
Yeah,
primary school here. It's pretty
yeah.
young.
Here as well. I'm in Canada, so yes, they're teaching, like the gender spectrum and the gender unicorn
Hmm.
and stuff in schools. And where's the evidence for that? Like, I don't even under. I do. Most people don't even know where that came from. Like, do you know where this idea of a gender spectrum came from? Like, no, we're all being taught it, but nobody knows what the origin of that is. It's like it came out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And I don't see how that's helpful. If let's say I was 5 and in this classroom where they're teaching about the gender spectrum, I don't see how that would have been helpful for me either. Like, so I have a condition called gender dysphoria. It doesn't mean that I'm like a third gender, or it doesn't mean that I'm somewhere on
Hmm.
this spectrum. I think that's really confusing kids, and it's
Yeah.
it's a it's a it's a political narrative. It's not factual. It's not science based. If there's a child in a class who's experiencing gender dysphoria, yeah, absolutely, there are probably ways of supporting that child and helping their peers understand, don't bully them, and this condition exists. But I don't think kids need to be taught about sexuality or gender at an early age at all. I don't see where that's the place of schools to be teaching a political narrative that's confusing kids, because I've seen the spectrum. I mean, on one end, so it's one line. On one side is G.I. Joe, on the other side is Barbie. It's like, well, based on that, I'm not a man either, because I'm certainly not a GI Joe. Like, so I mean, unless you're a GI Joe, or unless you're a Barbie, that means what? That you're trans, or you're a third
Yeah.
sex. Like, it makes no sense. And most people aren't a GI Joe or a Barbie. Most of us, everybody has aspects of their personality and their temperament that is a mix of what we would think of as masculine or feminine traits, and that's completely separate from having a
Hmm.
psychological condition called gender dysphoria.
Hmm.